YouTube channel. Hello, welcome to the
I got a story to tell, and I'm still hot and sweaty because I just got home from work. But I got to share this while it's still fresh on my mind. So I was on the highway this morning, probably 4:40 is my guess. Still dark outside. I left Manchester. I'm heading east towards Hampton Beach, and just minding my own business, listening to my podcast, doing what I do, my history lesson. I can't remember what it was on this morning, but anyhow. So I see a car behind me, kind of flashing their lights, and I'm like, huh? Every once in a while, it was not like constant, just like a little flicker, and then out of the corner of my eye, another little flicker. And sometimes, when somebody's front end is loose, their shocks are kind of getting old, the front end bounces, and it kind of looks like they're flashing you. That's kind of what I thought it was. And so I just kept going a little bit, and then they flashed me again, and I noticed that they were kind of getting a little close to me. I was like, concerned that maybe my brakes were locked up in the back of my trailer. I was in my Pepsi truck. So the back of my trailer, if my brakes lock up, every once in a while it'll happen. They'll seize up, and I'll catch it, and I'll stop, and I'll jerk back and forth and go, and it will break free. So I'm thinking, okay, my brake's turning flaming hot red back there, and he's trying to warn me. So I kind of have no choice but to pull over because it could be a serious issue. So I go ahead and I pull over, and I get I take my seatbelt off, I hit my brakes, I put my hazards on, I look in the mirror to get out, and I'm like, what? There's somebody halfway up my Pepsi truck already. The guy jumped out of his car. So, Hannah is hearing this. I can't even see you on here, Hannah.
That's okay.
Okay, so that might be a good time to cue the intro. Booyah! So, this guy's coming up the side of my truck. I have no idea who it is. It's not a police car. There were no blues, no reds. So I get out and I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on, man? And the dude starts rapping to me in Spanish. Just a pudgy guy. Looks like a backup catcher. Like a bullpen catcher. Some guy he's got like 2 out of the 5 tools. He can hit for power. He can't run. And he can throw. So, Pudge, right? No, actually, he looked like Bartolo Colon. That's right. He looked like a 6 foot tall Bartolo Colon. Doesn't speak a word of English, supposedly. So I just go right by him. I'm like, okay, I might need my fire extinguisher. I got to go to the back of my trailer. And I'm looking. I don't smell. I don't see any flames, nothing. I'm like, ¿Qué pasó, amigo? I speak a little bit of Spanish. And he said, oh, hey, man, yeah, he's going on and on and on. No tengo. I'm like, yeah, no tengo qué? I don't have what? You don't have what? So he brings me to his car. His door's open, and he's telling me to look in his car, look in his dash. So I'm like looking at his car, and these new cars, they look like airplane cockpits. I can't tell where even his gas gauge is. And now I'm kind of like nervous because I'm like, this ain't right. And the guy's behind me, so I step out of the car. I'm like, ¿Qué pasa, amigo? And he's pointing, and I'm like, no tengo petrol? Right? Gasoline? Sí, no tengo petrol! Well, he wasn't. That's my animation. He's not Mexican. That's my Mexican accent. So I'm like, okay, there's no way. So I go to his gas gauge. His gas cap, whatever. The cap that pops open, and I pointed to it. I go, no tengo petrol. See? And he goes like this. He goes, no tengo. I'm like, no tengo qué? Dinero? Sí, no tengo dinero. No tengo petrol. And you know what he says? He looks at me, he goes, tengo 20? Asks me for $20, pitch black on the highway, pulls me over, and not a word of English, asks me for $20. I'm like, 20? ¿Qué? He goes, tengo 15? He asked me for $15. I said, amigo, Lo siento, pero no tengo dinero. Lo siento, adios. Seriously, I'm like, done. I am not comfortable. Nobody pulls somebody over on the highway. He's not even from the country. He can't speak the language and just walks up and randomly asks for $20. It doesn't happen. It's a scam. So I get in my car, my truck, and boom, the guy's, all of a sudden he's driving by me. And I'm like, oh, I should have took a picture of his license plate. But when I thought about it, it was too far away. And then I'm like, wait a second. I look at my car door, my passenger door. Thank God it was locked, because I'm thinking, they were going to rob me. He had a buddy with him, guarantee you. This is my thought. This is the only thing that makes sense to me. Is he had a buddy, he was distracting me while his buddy was going to go up, steal my wallet, steal my cell phone, get my driver's license, have all my credit cards on my phone. I might not even notice for 10, 15 miles. They can be out there blowing all their money. Total, right? Does that make sense? Because nothing else makes sense. You don't just pull somebody over on the highway and go up and ask them for $20. Pitch black, middle of the night. A Pepsi truck. So I was like, okay, I gotta tell the Stadies, because this is like, is this some kind of new scam? So I told my boss, I asked my two head bosses, I got back to work, and I explained the whole story. And my boss, this is why he's the boss. He looks at me and he goes, okay, Greg, what's your takeaway? What's your takeaway, he says to me. I said, well, the police would tell you if you're not comfortable with a civilian, don't, trying to pull you over, call 911. But because I'm in a tractor trailer and there could be an issue with the back of my trailer, and I've had somebody flash at me before when my brakes locked up and they were getting hot and they were turning red and they were panicking. So I kind of have no choice, for safety first, to go see whether or not I gotta put that fire out. So I told him my takeaway would be, if something like that happened again, make sure your passenger door is locked, your valuables are out, are on you, and I just thought of this, maybe even take your key, lock your door, and hide your keys in your pocket or something. But for sure, that's my takeaway. I mean, just like keep your head on a swivel, I guess, and yeah, very bizarre. It was a little nerve-wracking at first. I didn't think nothing of it, but then obviously. And then when I saw that guy beat feet out pretty quick, and then he got off on exit 4, there is nothing on exit 4. I'm like, why is he getting off on exit 4? I said, that dude was trying to scam me. They were trying to rob me on the highway. And I would have been sitting on the side of the highway, no wallet, no phone, looking like a fool. Feeling like a fool. Explain that to your wife. Hey, honey, some dude stole my wallet on the highway. I would have been the biggest clown. Bro, they would have been talking about that at work for the next 20 years. Oh, that would have been roasted. Anyhow, that's my story. Musings of a schlep. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.